NFL to make a donation and help those in need.
Well said, KB. We are here in New York City now. Let's take it to Culver City, where my guy Will Selva is waiting. Hey, Will, do you remember in that student newscast class where you saw Walter Cronkite read the teleprompter without proofreading any scripts? And that pretty much changed your life. That's how I felt about you when I met you in Culver City. I said, that guy is as good as anybody, and he has just changed my life.
Love it.
Well, I love you, man.
Nate.
Take it away.
I love you too, my man. Thank you very much for that. That was definitely a career highlight for me, and I think it's only gone down there for me since then. Either way, most of the attention in Dallas is focused on Dak Prescott's lack of a contract, but there's also the issue of wide receiver Amari Cooper and what to do about his contract status. Now, the Cowboys can use a franchise tag and transition tag on both Cooper and Prescott as they work to try and keep both players. As speculation swirls around his future in Big D, Cooper wants to make something very clear to the organization through an interview with 105.3 The Fan.
Listen, I love being a Dallas Cowboy. I love everything about it. I was just thinking about that today. I think about it almost every day, really. Just primetime games. Like we play what seems like more night games than anybody, and that always feels good to a football player. Everything, the facility, I love it here in Frisco, where I stay at now. Just the aura of being a Dallas Cowboy. I mean, you can't beat it. So I want to be a Dallas Cowboy for life.
Well, left tackle Jason Peters probably thought he would be an Eagle for life, the remainder of his career after 11 seasons in Philly. That's looking highly unlikely. NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reporting the Eagles are letting Peters hit the free agency market. However, according to Mike, the team will remain in contact with Peters throughout the process. Peters is a 9-time Pro Bowler. Now, Peters' Eagles teammate, wide receiver Deshaun Jackson, declared he'll be back stronger than ever from core muscle surgery in November. Jackson went on to tell Bar None Media he feels like he'll be back at 100% and is trying to shatter all the records he hasn't gotten yet. Jackson is currently tied for second all-time with Hall of Famer Randy Moss with 32 career touchdowns of 50 yards or more. Hall of Famer Jerry Rice, of course, tops them both with 36. So, Nate, as a former wide receiver, you see, even at 33, D-Jax feels like there's a lot of unfinished business for him.
Yeah, at 33, I was falling apart. At 33, he's getting faster. That first game this past season.
Ridiculous.
2 touchdowns, 2 bombs.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh, he's going to have 20 touchdowns this year.
I thought he was going to break Megatron's record. He's unbelievable. We missed Deshaun Jackson. He's back soon.
We do miss him.
Appreciate it, Will.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Will. We'll get back to you later in the program. It is time to ask some of the NFL's toughest questions right now with a round of Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda. That sounds like my life sometimes. Quarterbacks are always a hot commodity come draft time. We know that. And Daniel Jeremiah's latest mock draft has 4 of them coming off the board in the first round. But would you be surprised if 4 quarterbacks were drafted in the top 10 of this draft?
KB, what you think, man?
Never. I'll never be surprised by anything in the quarterback era. Now, let me tell you why. 2 years in a row, a 23-year-old kid has been the NFL MVP. 23 years old playing quarterback. I'm talking about Mahomes. I'm talking about Lamar. No one in any time in NFL history has been thirstier for young phenom quarterbacks than the GMs and the head coaches right now. Quarterback's always hot, never hotter. So if you picture, obviously, Burrow, obviously Tua, who I don't think is getting past the 4 pick, and then you start to get in all these other, absolutely I can see it happening because let's not forget, get outside the top 10. Indy at 13, Tampa at 14, potential movers and shakers in. Likely 4 in the top 10? No. But listen to me. It wouldn't surprise me if there were 5. Everybody wants the QB, so the answer is a resounding no.
And you mentioned Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Mahomes was the 10th pick. Lamar actually fell to the last pick of the first round. So you're right. And I said a quote yesterday, and people loved it online, so I'll repeat it. You never go grocery shopping when you're hungry. And that's what happens comes draft day. People get really excited. There's all these mock drafts. It seems like everybody has what they want. And then come draft day, it seems like these teams get so thirsty for quarterbacks, and they pull the trigger. We got these notes from the great Matt Hamilton, super producer researcher.
Yes, we did.
He said the only time in the common era draft since 1967, 4 QBs went in the top 10, 2018, so it just happened. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen. So you think about those QBs and how many of those actually works. Listen, Baker Mayfield had a good rookie season. Sam Darnold has shown some glimpses. Josh Allen was phenomenal last year. Josh Rosen, I think the jury is still out, but I think teams are looking at situations like this. Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
Right.
If we just shake the dice and we land on the right guy, this could change everything for us.
I feel like if 3 go in the top 6, which is definitely possible, you're absolutely getting to 4 in the top 10 because someone's going to get nervous that Jordan Love, if that's who's on the outside third, assuming Herbert goes third of the group, that Jordan Love's going to be gone. And then you say to yourself, am I taking a chance on the development of Jacob Eason, who has an enormous arm and showed it off in Indy? And my guess is at some point in the first round, that happened. So I think you're absolutely right. The need for quarterbacks. And the funny part to me is, guys, we are talking as much about the veteran quarterback right now, largely Brady and Breeze, as we are about these young guys. And it just speaks to what this position is, the most important and most compelling in all of sports.
You make a good point because there's teams that need to get a quarterback right now, and there's teams that need to find a successor. So, I mean, you're right. The quarterbacks are going to go.
Okay. I want to hear about some Jaguars quarterbacks, though. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
Okay.
What do you got?
What you got,
Well, our own Mike Garafolo is reporting that the Jaguars, Kyle, have fielded calls about Nick Foles, but they aren't actively shopping their quarterback. So in your mind, could the Jaguars have a starting quarterback not named Nick Foles in week 1?
I don't see it happening.
Really?
Oh,
Listen,
you said, you said.
I know this is perfect.
I love that.
I know that Minshew Mania was crazy, but did Minshew Mania really put his foot down and say, you can't turn back from here, I'm your guy? He had moments, but he also had some games where it looked a little rough. Now, when you think about the money they paid Nick Foles and what they wanted to do when they brought him in, not to mention the play he actually got injured on.
It's the best play ever.
It was the best play ever. We're looking at it right here. This was a touchdown. So you got to think about what he did.
Pass.
Chark comes down with the TD. He gets banged up. He's sitting on ice for a while. I just feel like they're going to give him one more shot. See if the magic is really there, KB.
Well, he's definitely going to be on the team because if they were to somehow say we're not in the Nick Foles business, it'd be $33.9 million in dead money. That ain't happening. So do you have to take that contract and put it on the bench as a backup? Wouldn't be surprised at all. Listen to me. Gardner Minshew, I don't care, you can pull up his numbers or anything. Gardner Minshew has it. There's something you can watch when you see it. He's got an it to it. He can play the game. As a rookie, came in, did some really impressive things. And I'll tell you this, Doug Marrone, we know this guy. I don't think he cares what the contract is. I don't think he cares who he's supposed to play. He's on borrowed time right now, Doug Marrone. If Gardner Minshew comes in training camp and starts chucking it around in his second year, Nick Foles can sit on the bench. He's done it before. He's done it for a whole career. And if something happens and Gardner Minshew gets hurt, Nick Foles comes off the bench and win a Super Bowl and get a statue. It's the way it works. I think Gardner Minshew could start. And depending on how the training camp goes, I think he should. I like Gardner's game.
Headband too?
You're
in on the headband.
Who isn't it?
Look at that. All that.
All right, so listen. A lot of shows in Vegas.
Okay.
Cirque du Soleil, oh, Mystère. What would be the show for that gentleman? I'm not talking about just the draft and he gets up there on his little boat and goes to the stage. We're going to talk to you about what he and some of the other big-name prospects, what would their one-man show be? What would it be and would you go? And also, Nate's going to talk about that, man. Amari Cooper, who wants to be a cowboy.